Welcome all to the third edition of the SmackDown Live review show right here on PWF Empire. You're listening on YouTube as always and pwfempire.com. I am Lucas Rojas, your wonderful host. And tonight we have a special treat, a special surprise filling in the absence of Evan Medina. And I had to choose this guy. I had to give him a shot because we've never really worked together. Someone in the back who's in our ear sets right now doesn't have much faith in us, but I'm going to introduce this fellow to you, and he goes by the name of Justin. Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. I'm glad Jay, let me on the show because now hell has frozen over. You are a monkey's uncle. Cats and dogs are playing together. It's madness. It's great. That's what this review show is about. Chaos, fun, excitement, all that good stuff.
All right. And this is going to be chaotic, but I think in a good way. I think we're going to get along. And you know what? The audience is going to be in for something special. So let's get this show started. By the way, you got to be more prepared next time wearing some blue. No, I'm just joking, man. Last week I wasn't wearing blue. You don't have to wear blue. But anyway.
I want my bright red shoe. No, it's red. Never mind. I'm not a Raw fan.
No. Yeah. Let's not talk. Yeah, right. Let's focus on SmackDown. So tonight, we had a main event that featured AJ Styles taking on Baron Corbin in what was a pretty good, decent matchup between the two. The MVP of SmackDown, of course, is AJ Styles, and Baron Corbin, who's kind of been reduced to a minor role on SmackDown. But tonight, I guess his momentum got going again. Justin, any big thoughts to this match right here that main evented SmackDown tonight?
I really like the matchup at its core. AJ Styles is great. All the praise the internet gives him is well-deserved. Baron Corbin's another one I really, really like. But I have noticed, as you said, he's been, slumming it as of late. The feud with Dean Ambrose has started off promising, then, pre-show happened and all this stuff. I'm glad he's finally getting some footing again. I think my biggest problem with this match, and it kind of goes with both guys, Baron Corbin, this is going to go on for something later on the show. The match was good, obviously. But I feel like Baron Corbin's placement and AJ Styles' placement, this isn't question here. Both kind of U.S. title fight happening here when maybe they could have been replacing someone from another match that happened earlier on. And with that being there, I find it really distracting. I'm just watching, why is this for this title and not that one? Why is AJ Styles, having, blinders on? It's same with Baron Corbin now. I feel like it's just odd. If you're going to main event it, shouldn't it be for a main event caliber title, or unless they're making the U.S. title main event caliber? I'm just confused by it more than anything else. I want to enjoy the match, but it's got to give me some substance too.
Yeah, we're going to touch more on that subject later because I know what you're referring to in regards to the WWE title picture. But yeah, this felt weird here. And it's the second week in a row that they do it on SmackDown in regards to the U.S. title mid-card scene, whatever you want to call it, them being put at a higher spotlight on SmackDown as opposed to what's going on in the main event scene right now. And it's kind of weird, but I also kind of like it because it's showing emphasis on the fact that the mid-carders are now being showcased more and that they're actually important. It's not like Raw where they throw them to the side. With SmackDown, the attention and the focus is there. Not that it wasn't there, because even before this new draft that happened a few weeks ago, before this new shakeup, SmackDown has always been consistent in delivering as far as mid-carders being showcased is concerned. But there is a little bit of concern when you're just flip-flopping guys like AJ Styles, who 1 week is in the WWE title scene, and then he's going for the U.S. title. And Baron Corbin, it's where does he fit into all of this? So I do see your point there. It was a pretty good match. AJ Styles, once again, he beat Baron Corbin. So this match, it's tricky because it's good that Baron Corbin and Styles are being showcased and they're in the main event, but it's also bad in the sense that Baron Corbin doesn't look all that well, especially losing to AJ Styles when this guy is supposed to be a beast.
Exactly, and I think Baron Corbin should be, Raw's doing a good, not to get too much on Raw, but they're doing a good job with someone else who's kind of the Baron Corbin type, and SmackDown needs that kind of, Braun Strowman type. And Baron Corbin, I feel like Baron Corbin's even better than Braun Strowman, so you should be, mounting him as a monster to face, be the big bad of SmackDown kind of a thing, because you don't really have that. Who's the biggest heel on SmackDown since Bray Wyatt left, if you don't even count him as, top heel? But, there's nobody. So why not make Baron Corbin that big bad title holder for AJ Styles to chase, Randy Orton to chase. Like I just feel like Baron Corbin's just slumming it, and I don't see the progression there. And the big problem with having AJ Styles and Baron Corbin and Kevin Owens and all them being focused on the U.S. title is that the WWE title picture is not nearly as interesting as this. If you're not giving me something good enough where I can accept this being in the mid card, I draw attention to it, because why not have filet mignon instead of just, a Whopper at Burger King kind of a thing.
Right.
And right now it's just a Whopper at Burger King, and I'm just like, well, filet mignon, I just had that. Now I'm just gonna eat this Whopper. Yeah, okay. it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And I want the best for these two, because there's AJ Styles' potential realized. Baron Corbin's needs to be tapped into, and they're not doing it with this.
And with Baron Corbin, his problem is the fact that they had Dean Ambrose be shifted to Raw too soon, and I guess that kind of emptied things out for him, because now they don't really have anything for him, and it sucks. It seemed like that was a late-minute decision there where they actually had something going with this guy. So he seems to be in a pretty bad spot right now, but I don't think WWE is doing it intentionally. It's just that they can't figure out what the new plans are for him yet because of what happened with the shakeup. And then that questions, should the shakeup have even happened to begin with? But that's another conversation for another time. You were going to say something? I'm
in total agreement with you. Baron Corbin, he needs direction, and he's just directionless right now. And having a clear path, like something to get me invested in him, that's all I ask. Just give me something to be invested in.
Yep. All right. And that'll lead us to our next conversation here, which has to do with Charlotte Flair, the face of the women's division over on SmackDown. Ugh. And this is going to drive me nuts, because I don't want to give anything away, but from the last Mark Standing edition, I predicted exactly what would happen in regards to Charlotte. And lo and behold, tonight, we're getting the exact same thing I predicted, because we're getting too much of Charlotte in this division. At least in my opinion, that's what I think. But I'll leave that question up to you to answer before I give more of my opinion. Do you think we're getting too much of Charlotte on SmackDown, and is that good or bad? And also, she became the #1 contender tonight after beating Naomi. So I guess now she's going to be taking on Naomi for that SmackDown Women's Championship.
I've kind of been known to not like Charlotte at all. Like, I'm not a fan of her. I see the, appeal of her. I just don't. But that being said, you have to take into account, like, she's going in with all this momentum from Raw. She was the first pay-per-view main eventer with Sasha, did all these things with Sasha, and she's kind of solidified herself as the diva of, like, the entire WWE kind of a thing. And you have to kind of, like, show when she's on SmackDown that she's not going to, waver. She's going to be the same Charlotte she was there, and now she's going to take on a whole new division, and it's going to put everyone else on notice. I kind of like the idea of getting Charlotte out there. If you want Charlotte to be your big, this is what a women's wrestler is now, then you have to showcase her a lot. And it's not like there's much left in the division. I like Naomi, and I like Becky Lynch. After that, I don't know who else to tell you. Like, Charlotte, if there's not much there, just focus on what you got, I guess, is what all there is to it with that. So it doesn't bother me as much. I get what WWE is doing with that.
No, this bothers me because first of all, Charlotte is pretty much the only legitimate person they have in that division right now. And no offense to Naomi, but she's not somebody who's appealing to me right now. Even with her holding that championship, she just doesn't appeal to me. And you mentioned, no, I don't. And you mentioned an interesting name in Becky Lynch, because I forgot that she wasn't even on SmackDown tonight. Yeah. So where the hell was she? And for many segments, you had Natalya, Tamina, and Carmella all like just ran and look after Charlotte as she just stole that division away from them. And that bothers me, because it's like you're pretty much already burying the division in Charlotte's first full night of being on SmackDown. And that's a freaking problem. Like, you even had Shane McMahon at the start of SmackDown admit that she's more important than anything else on SmackDown in that division, and he doesn't give a crap about the other names who've been there since the first installment of SmackDown. Like, what? That's already losing legitimacy and credit for your entire division. So I'm sorry, but that does not sit well with me at all.
All right, let me pose this question to you then. What WWE's biggest shortcoming on SmackDown was the women's division. Like, you had Becky Lynch, and then Alexa Bliss came about, and those were the two. And Naomi just kind of popped in randomly out of nowhere. So my thing is, how can you bury a division that's already it's not even uprooted? It's been buried. Like, it's not. And putting Charlotte there.
It wasn't as. it wasn't as buried before, though, because you were getting competition, even competition with names like Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Maurice. And yes, Maurice was kind of part of that division, but now it's like, it's all just Charlotte. I mean, how can you not see this, man? At least they evened it up with Alexa Bliss and, those kind of names.
Yeah, but I think what they're going to try to do is what I suggested with Baron Corbin is just make her the big bad of the division and have maybe a Carmella turn face, or God, that sounds terrible. Just give somebody a chance to uproot, and whoever beats Charlotte's going to be like, okay, here's the stamp, here is the face of the division, and then it's going to better the division. But you have to put emphasis on her if she's going to be the focal point for the next step of the division, I think.
I don't like it because I just think it's history repeating itself, because we saw this on Raw and it's like she's pretty much just going to run the table, and then who's going to be left for her to face? And that's the problem that Raw ran into, and it's not the problem I want SmackDown to run into, but it's unfortunately the problem they are going to run into. And I think them keeping Becky Lynch away from TV is kind of like a strategy. I guess they're doing it intentionally, because when she makes an appearance again, it's like, oh, Becky Lynch is going to be the savior. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, because we already saw how that feud went last year. So
it wasn't bad last year. It didn't have like a big, the coup de grace moment, so to speak. But
right, yeah.
And I feel like if you build up Charlotte and Becky Lynch for SummerSlam, if that's the end game, I think it's money. You just have to make Charlotte that monster. Like, have her go through Carmella, have her go through Natty again. She's going through a lot of these people. But yeah, and just focus. Maybe build Naomi up again. Get, like, I'm a champion. I'm going to keep fighting. Maybe she loses the first time, and Charlotte's like, "How did I lose? I'm so used to winning. What is this? You're inferior." And just build that complex until Becky Lynch comes, takes the belt from Charlotte, and off to the races we go for whatever happens at Survivor Series. So
I think Naomi's credibility was hurt a lot tonight in the fact that Charlotte beats her just like that. It's like, why are they even going to have this match now, right? Because if Charlotte can beat her tonight, then what's the point of the pay-per-view match?
WWE sucks at this. They do this all the time. Like, hey, beat the champion, contender. No, you're champion. That's how that should always work. If you beat the champion, you should be champion. And you say fluke win, but beating a champion to get a title shot sucks. It's not good writing. It's lazy. You could have easily just had Charlotte face like Natty and Carmella and just win the triple threat. Boom. Kind of like what they did last night, which they seemed like they haven't got down. And SmackDown just doesn't have that down. They're just coasting it, and they're coasting on Charlotte, which is probably your problem, but I see no solution right now if you're waiting on Becky Lynch, because there's nothing else in that division to latch on to.
Mm-hmm. And then you have all the women just in the back. Oh, we're gonna team up and just do nothing and watch Charlotte in the ring. Really? That's how you're gonna make your impact tonight.
If Charlotte wins, we riot by watching TV.
Yeah, tonight, like. This was awful. This was laziness. I agree. This was laziness on WWE's part, especially from SmackDown. I'm surprised, because their creative team usually is always rolling. But tonight, something was off.
The creative perspective has always been lacking on SmackDown with the women. I feel like they don't do them the right justice. I feel because they always just like throw them out there, and here's a random Alexa Bliss. Here's Mickie James now, and they throw things at the wall and hope they stick. Now they're latching on to Charlotte and saying, please, something good come of this, because we were out of ideas, it feels like. So it's just a wait and see, and then just for the short term, it sucks because Naomi deserved better than just losing, and Charlotte I get what you're saying. I just see what they're trying to do, and I'm hoping it works out, because I would love to be entertained by the women's division on SmackDown. I would like that a lot.
We can only hope. But all right, we were touching on it a little bit earlier. Now we're definitely going to talk about this, and probably for a while. And it's this WWE title picture on SmackDown, which is a complete mess right now. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I said mess. You had Jinder Mahal. Yes,
McCall.
I deserve to botch his name. But Jinder Mahal becomes the #1 contender tonight for the WWE title in a match where he defeated guys like Sami Zayn, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper in a 6-pack challenge. And then he cuts a freaking anti-American promo about how, we're upset because he's not the stereotypical American and this and that. And then Randy Orton comes down to the ring, and he basically just confronts him for a minute and then basically just buries him by turning his attention over to Bray Wyatt. I mean, what the hell are we witnessing here, Justin?
The downfall of the WWE Championship. You know how people complained how Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler was the main event of SummerSlam for the WWE title? Not the main event, but the world title match for that. now we could always see things could always be worse. Because I'm sorry, Jinder Mahal, not once have I ever thought, man, you know what? World title contender. No. I just look at him. I don't think 3MB anymore. I think Veins Mahal. But it's just it's WWE trying something different. I applaud them. Just the wrong kind of different. Like, there's many other things you could do. You're forcing a guy who just jobbed out to Finn Balor like 2 weeks ago, a guy who just did a job, and now he's like, he's a world title contender. What? And it devalues what Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton's doing, as if they're not devaluing what they're doing themselves. They're throwing this on top of that. It's chaos. It's confusion. I don't get why Jinder Mahal. I don't get half the contenders they had in that match. Like, what the hell is Dolph Ziggler doing there?
This was laziness. This came out of nowhere. First of all, like, they didn't build a story leading into this. I mean, I'm perfectly fine if Jinder Mahal becomes the number one contender. I keep saying McCall. Jinder Mahal. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine if Jinder Mahal becomes the number one contender, as long as there was some sort of progression and build up to this. But the fact that we're getting this out of nowhere doesn't sit well with me. I'm sorry, but I had no emotion, no reaction to this, because there was no build up. It just came out of left field, and I'm supposed to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, this is great. I'm intrigued." No, because what you just said earlier makes perfect sense. He was a jobber 2 weeks ago. Hell, he was a jobber last night. And now he's the WWE Championship contender? What the fuck? What is this?
I honestly wonder why they chose us, besides maybe shock value, because granted, I was shocked he won.
I was shocked as hell too.
Being a contender for your world title, so it's like, it's a false, not a good kind of shock, but you gave me one, sure. And I just wonder, is it because I don't want to throw allegations out there, but he's now a bigger man. Does Vince know, like, you know what? He's putting the work in. Give him a title shot.
And what's funny about that is I saw a lot of tweets saying that, oh, like, he's only getting this push because Vince McMahon likes his physique.
I'm just so confused. I mean, there's plenty of nice guys with physiques on the show. I mean, Ziggler, I don't like the guy, but he's got a physique on him. I don't get why Jinder Mahal. I guess you're trying to push India numbers. I don't know if that's going to work. I'm just confused by why Jinder Mahal.
And the thing about the other thing about it is, when are we even supposed to have this match? Like, is it going to happen next week? Is it even going to be on pay-per-view, right? Because people are assuming it's going to be on pay-per-view. But for all we know, this match might fucking happen next week. And then Orton just buries him, and then that's it. That's the done deal there. Like, I don't understand what this match was supposed to accomplish. As a matter of fact, before tonight, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a number one contenders match for that title, because I thought the main focus was going to be Orton.
Horrors.
Yeah, Orton versus Wyatt, and we get this out of nowhere. It's like, what?
I also heard a rumor that the House of Horrors isn't even a WWE Championship match now. Like, I'm confused by what's going on. Like, we could always look at that WWE title and stop it handled the greatest, except when AJ Styles and Cena had it. But I look at a contender like James Ellsworth, who was clearly a joke and meant to be a joke, and WWE played him as a joke in the match. I'm afraid Jinder Mahal is a joke. Let's be real. He's the worst member of 3MB, and how you could be the worst member of a group like that kind of shows what kind of talent you are. There's no charisma in the guy. There's no way you're going to move money with him. I don't see, even for a one-off SmackDown or a pay-per-view, like, it could be like Extreme Rules and Randy Orton just kills the man. I'm confused why Jinder Mahal. I don't get it. I don't see the appeal, and I hope to God, if they give him the WWE title just to shock us, or I'm going to be like, wow, Vince is purposely pushing SmackDown now to prop Raw up, because there's no way Jinder Mahal is going to give you ratings, money, merchandise sales. There's nothing to the guy. He's like an intercontinental title jobber. That's his peak, if anything.
And I still can't believe we had Mojo in this match too. It's like, this was terrible. And I know this was a pretty good match. I will give credit where credit is due. It was a solid match, but it did not have my interest as far as who the contenders were, besides Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's the only real contender in the whole bunch. Maybe Luke Harper. Maybe.
And honestly, I would have taken Harper over Mahal. Don't you?
The story there, so why not?
Exactly. The story would have made sense. Harper versus Orton, or hell, you could do Harper versus Orton versus Bray Wyatt, right? Because that story, it seems like it was never finished between Harper and Orton, but it's like we're getting Mahal instead. And I just don't get it.
Mahoo? Just like, I'm looking at that match, and there's 6 guys, only one of which who deserves a title shot. 2 are stretching. And I look at Jinder Mahal, and I'm like, I would have taken even Mojo Rawley. Say what you will about what kind of wrestler he is, but he did win a Battle Royal. Maybe they're adding prestige. That could have added prestige to that. Maybe he's friends with Gronk. Mojo Rawley is more credible of a pick than Jinder Mahal. Eric Rowan, who is a god, mind you, deserves that spot. Luke Harper, like Jinder Mahal was like the lead. Well, I hate Dolph Ziggler, so maybe not him. But Jinder Mahal, I don't get it, Vince. Come on, give us a because Randy Orton's title reign, Bray Wyatt's title reign have been failures. We need something to push momentum back into the WWE title because it is the most prestigious title, treated as such. And while the other world title's gone, this one feels like it's gone because Randy Orton's a vacant slot is all I see. Jinder Mahal's an even bigger vacant slot. So I'm like, I need a world champion somewhere, please.
And Orton has a lot to do with this too, because let's say this title was on AJ Styles, for example. I don't think it would be as bad if we're getting Mahal versus AJ Styles, because AJ Styles is an intriguing character, whereas Orton, no matter what position he's in, he's automatically going to drain whatever title he has to the ground because his character is just not interesting. And I think that's what's not going to help Jinder Mahal in this case. I think the fact that Mahal is facing a guy like Orton is not going to benefit him because Orton is just too dry. I mean, it was proven in that segment tonight. That segment accomplished nothing when those two, hit the ring together and confronted each other. And it has a lot to do with Orton as well. I think he's really devalued that title. I think he's draining the main event scene right now, and they need to get that title off of him. But Mahal is not the answer. I'm telling you that right now.
As I was watching that segment, I was thinking about it. What's the problem with Randy Orton? Because I routinely forget he's WWE champion at this point.
Yeah.
He won the title at WrestleMania, and they didn't treat it like a world championship win. I just forget. Like, Randy Orton wins that world title at the most the worst possible time for him to win that belt. Every single time. Like, the one time he's supposed to win it, he didn't win against Triple H at WrestleMania 25. Everything else is supposed to be Daniel Bryan's time. AJ Styles' time right now. He's winning it at the worst possible times when he should not be world champion. I'm confused by his booking constantly. And we need a good world champion. So I'm hoping this AJ Styles-Kevin Owens feud wraps up. Maybe we get some more prestige to the world title, not the U.S. title.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the U.S. title. I like it being propped up, but make sure the world title is being fed too. Not give me Jinder Mahal in a world title match.
Yeah, and for the second week in a row, the world title picture is degraded to like the second hour as opposed to the final hour or whatever. It's not basically it's not been the main event. And is this going to be a pattern now? I mean, SmackDown is Bizarro World right now. That's what it is.
The shakeup has screwed it up, and the world title, it was screwed up before the shakeup, but now it's clear that there's just nothing. And I want the world because it's a shame. It's the WWE title, the most prestigious title, and it's in this state where Jinder Mahal is fighting for it.
Right. All right. Now we're going to move into our spotlight and booty segments of the night. Of course, this is a segment designed for me and Justin in this case to provide our own spotlight, a moment we specifically liked from SmackDown that we absolutely want to give it a shine. So Justin, I'll give you the green light here. What was your spotlight for tonight's SmackDown?
I hope I'm not stealing it from you because we didn't talk about this previously, but my spotlight's Kevin Owens and his Open Challenge, the Face of America Open Challenge. And not so much the opponent who's Neon Jobber. I don't remember what his name was. I just like the idea that we're having open challenges for the United States title, even though it diminishes story-wise AJ Styles in a way. It's like you're number one contender, but 1B number one contender, whatever. Because I appreciated John Cena's one where it got talent out there to wrestle and show their ability and get them accustomed to the audience accustomed to the wrestler in the United States title. And I feel Kevin Owens is a great wrestler to do it this with. Have him be smarmy and do the thing. Kevin Owens is, I think, the best thing to come from Raw to SmackDown. And they're clearly using him to his full capacity as United States champion. And I feel like this is a good way to get the title prestigious without devaluing other things, even though that's what they're doing. So I think Kevin Owens really stole the show with his things. I like the idea of introducing it. I hope it's a weekly thing. They stick with it because I really like open challenges for United States title. It's fun.
For me, that actually wasn't my spotlight, and I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for what my spotlight actually was.
Oh,
but
boy.
It has nothing to do with the main event nor anything that involved the women tonight. It has to do everything with the tag team division, and that's the shining stars beating the American Alpha. Because first of all, I said it last week, how people were too quick to jump the gun in regards to the Shining Stars coming to SmackDown. Oh, we can't take these guys seriously. I mean, they were jobbers on Raw. Well, now they're making an impact. They're making noise, and they just beat American Alpha. So there you go. And they look pretty damn good doing it. So that's my spotlight.
Can I chime in on that?
Go ahead.
What noise are you hearing? What noise are you hearing the Shining Stars make? I'm curious.
I mean,
did you crank up the volume at 100% right when they're coming out, and then like turn it down?
That was probably it, but
well, it's fine. I'm just curious. The Shining Stars. I never would have went there. You're unique.
They're gonna be stars soon.
Shining Stars.
Yeah, they're gonna be it fits with my spotlight. That's why I picked
shining.
It's part of it. Yeah.
Are you gonna go to Puerto Rico now? Are you gonna?
I mean, if I get a free pass. I get a free pass, like they always say in their entrance, right?
Yeah, they're just they're the most dastardly heels. Come to beautiful Puerto Rico, you bastards. Yeah.
Admit it, Justin. They're pretty damn good.
No, I cannot. I can't, in good conscience, say Los Matadores, now Shining Stars, or anything remotely good. It doesn't sit right with me as a wrestling fan. It kind of makes, Andre the Giant weep. I feel. Who's the Road Warriors? They're weeping too. Why not?
Well, come on, let's give them a shot at least. Let's give them a chance.
Why would I ever give them a shot? What has WWE ever done to say? They're the Jinder Mahal of the tag team division. Who are they? Why are they? Why employ them?
But when you think about it, there's not much in that division to begin with right now, besides just the New Day, and they weren't anywhere on SmackDown.
They're coming soon. I'm curious. Yeah. What? Really? Hopefully they show up one day. I'd like to see the New Day. But
right.
That's just, once again, there's some division suffering in SmackDown. As good as SmackDown routinely is, there's a lot of holes and a lot of places that need to be filled. And I'm sorry, the Shining Stars do not fill the tag team division hole. I feel like a DIY may be good, but hey, that's speculation. I mean, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I can't in good conscience make those predictions.
We'll see. But all right, so now we move on to the trash moment of the night, the booty segment that absolutely sucked. Justin, what's your booty?
Mine's more of a personal reason than, anything else. There was one guy in that six-pack challenge that I have a strong problem with touching another world title contendership, and that is Dolph Ziggler. Your jobber ass does not belong anywhere near that world title, buddy. You're bleach blonde, not even bleach blonde anymore, ass, needs to be jobbing to for Shining Star, sure, have him beat Dolph Ziggler. Everybody beats Dolph Ziggler. You do not belong in a world title match. You had your shot, you blew it. Sorry, bud, bye. Don't waste my time with that shit ever again, WWE. Watch Jinder Mahal over him. Screw Dolph Ziggler. I'm moving on. Booty fits Dolph Ziggler so much. I'm just going to leave it at that. He's booty.
Okay. I'm going to be unique with this one. I was unique with the first one. Now I'm going to be even more unique with this one. My booty segment. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready for this, Justin.
I'm ready!
Okay. My booty segment of tonight was the fact that Nakamura was nowhere to be seen on SmackDown. And if we're talking about a six-pack challenge involving #1 contenders, why the hell was Nakamura nowhere near this freaking match? Why?
You ask a question I don't have the answer to. Why wasn't Nakamura there?
Yeah, that's
world title contender right there. Jinder Mahal, nah. Nakamura, nah. Let's get Jinder Mahal his chance.
I mean, hell, even if he wasn't a part of the match, that's fine. But at least have him contribute to the match, get interference or something, because he has a score to settle with Dolph Ziggler, who was part of that match. So why the hell, if Ziggler can be in that match, why the hell can't Nakamura be in that match?
Yeah, like have Nakamura in there, Ziggler not be a part of the match, come in, super kick Nakamura, cost him the match. Right. Rivalry. It's booking 101, but we choose not to.
Yeah, but, we're too genius, and they can't figure that out, because we're not Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
You're fired.
But yeah, like to me, this was simple science. It's not hard, but for some reason, Nakamura just wasn't on SmackDown tonight. Instead, he was in a vignette package, And I don't know why the hell he was in a video package as opposed to actually being on my television screen. But
because ratings, video package equals ratings. Instead of having the guy there, we can have a crowd pop for him. Nah, video package that.
And there was a lot of video packages tonight. But
we promise SmackDown will be good one day. Just wait for it.
Yeah.
That's what those video packages told me.
Right.
We're going to get it together. Just we need time.
I mean, hell, we're still waiting on Rusev and Lana. I mean, and that's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. There's another person you're going to throw in that six-pack challenge.
Right. But now we move on to our overall grades to tonight's SmackDown edition. And judging by the way me and Justin have been ranting tonight, I think it's not going to be a pretty grade. So, Justin, you can start it off.
I'm going to give it a C. And I'm trying to be fair. As much as I bash Jinder Mahal, I do like the fact they're trying something different. I wish it was a good kind of different, but something different's always nice. It's not status quo, something I was expecting going in. But saying that, that's still negative, so that negates some other stuff. I enjoyed Kevin Owens. I enjoyed AJ Styles. There's no direction with this show, as I feel. And I feel it's very middle of the road. You could watch it. It's not going to be like, it's not that. It's going to be like you watched it, you're like, this could be better. There's room for improvement. I want to see what happens next week, maybe, because I'm curious where this Jinder Mahal thing goes. You have my curiosity, I suppose. Maybe there'll be something good they pull out of it. But middle of the road show, so for a middle of the road grade, C.
Yeah, from last week to this week, last week was such an up for me, but this week they just let me down completely. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a C as well because there was just too many spots tonight that I just did not like. I mean, we also forgot to mention the fact that there were too many damn squash matches. Kevin Owens, he was featured in a squash match. Even though I gave compliment to the Shining Stars beating American Alpha, that was kind of a squash match as well. And then Charlotte winning, that was predictable. Jinder Mahal, even though it was a surprise, it's still not a good surprise. So that match didn't really do anything for me either. So yeah, this was a pretty bland show, you know. So, and then Baron Corbin losing, like, come on, this is supposed to be a monster right here. What are you doing with him? So I got to give this show a C because there was just nothing really to feed off of tonight. No momentum whatsoever.
A good Raw or SmackDown will stick with you the next day. I will not remember the show tomorrow.
Right.
Next week, I'm like, oh, Jinder Mahal is. But it's not going to be anything worth remembering, except for that one big, crazy idea Vince McMahon had and a fever dream he had last night. Jinder Mahal. But besides that, there's nothing much to say with this. It's unfortunate, but hey, it happens. Not every show can be an A+, even though they could be.
I don't know who's better at doing Vince McMahon impressions, me or you. Because I'm pretty good.
Me or you're fired. I want to hear it.
You're fired.
All right, you have to go. You're fired.
Okay, I'm not even going to try with you. But we forgot. we forgot to do something, Justin. We forgot to give a shout out. We forgot to give a shout out to the greatest of all time, Eric freaking Rowan.
He touched the main event scene as a giant halo in SmackDown. His disciples all kneel before him like, world champion he could be. He could have won, but he decided to give to the poor. And said, Jinder Mahal, your time. My time will be later, as it is all time. Eric Rowan is the king. And we were all living in his kingdom.
Jay, a little, since nobody can see what Jay actually wrote, we're going to give you guys, you know, a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, right, that you guys can't see. Jay said he's climbing out of the window, but unfortunately,
he's not worthy of Eric Rowan. Mind you, he said that too. I'm just
but here's the catch. Here's the catch, Justin. Him jumping out of the window means he's landing right in front of Eric Rowan. So
yes, and he will kneel before Eric Rowan.
Yeah,
as all good men do, because there's only one true king, and he shall long live be Eric Rowan.
That's right, Jay. Good luck finding Eric Rowan outside of your house, because I'm pretty sure he's waiting for you.
Yeah, he's just waiting for you to bow, because he's like, Jay, you're cool. Bow to me. And maybe I will give you fruit from a tree for you to choose to eat and grow from.
He's there to give you. He's there to give you his mask, Jay. He's gonna put it on you. All right. He's gonna make you be a part of the Wyatt family.
And he's gonna teach you how to do spin
right
kicks. You need to know how to do spin kicks, They're like aerobics. The move is like rowing.
All right. That's gonna do it for tonight's SmackDown live review edition here on PWF Empire. Justin, I think we did pretty damn good. I don't know what Jay's thinking right now. But I think
I saw news.
Nailed it,
that's
man.
just me. I think I saw news in his background. We hope him well. And thank you for having me aboard. This was a lot of fun. I love talking SmackDown wrestling. Nice talking wrestling with someone I usually don't. So this is fun. A new acquaintance, mind you.
Yeah, I think
smiling from the heavens. So,
I think we got along pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think so. I think it worked out.
We survived, man.
Oh man, how we survived. I've seen things. Jinder Mahal, you're number one contender. I'm gonna have shivers tonight. It's a nightmare.
I mean, the only thing interesting about that is that little pair up he had. You know, that group that helped him, I guess, or whatever. But who the hell are they? I don't know. That's a mystery. But like I said, guys,
it is a mystery.
Yeah, but like I said, guys, that'll do it for tonight's show. We'll be back next week with another edition of the SmackDown Live Review.